Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode, another year of 30NSG. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about PlayStation reportedly planning on selling games and parts for $50 each, raising overall prices for $80 to $100. Now, this comes from Niche Gamer. Now, the Sony subsidiary Insomniac Games, massive data breach, after which the hackers threatened to release the unfold amounts of data unless they got the ransom paid. Now, Chef Among Us leaked the internal presentation of the reveals, not only of Sony's planning to increase the gaming prices again from 70 to 80 to 100, they're also planning on releasing the next Spider-Man game in 3 parts for $50 each, okay? Here's where I got a little bit of problem with this, right? I got a little bit of a problem with this because obviously we've talked about the gaming prices increasing. Okay, and if the gaming prices increase, now let's take a trip back to 2020 when Miles Morales was coming out, and they said they were only selling it for $50. Okay, but then they bundled it with Spider-Man, and they sold it for $70. So technically, Miles Morales, if you were doing that, was $20. Okay, because it was a DLC. Now it was a chunky DLC because it was supposed to be a DLC, but then they didn't have anything, so they made it into a standalone game. This is not taking shade to Miles Morales game. I absolutely love Miles Morales game. I'm just putting it in perspective here, okay? And it was a test because people were paying solo with that for $50, and it went on to sell. I think it was like 6 million when it first came out, and I think it sold 10 million now overall. But it was still a lesser game. Now, obviously, the assets were already there, right? Spider-Man was already built in 2018. 2 years later, Miles Morales came out. You were using the same city, different story, different character, but the assets and a lot of the stuff were already in the game. So it cost them a lot less to make Miles Morales. I think it was less than 100 mil. I think it was like 90 mil, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, someone can do fact check me and tell me in the comment section down below. But I'm pretty sure it was $90 million. Now, $90 million, and they went to sell 10 million copies. Now, I don't know if that's full price or not, but let's just take the Miles Morales at the $50 value, right? Just the $50 value, okay? It sold 10 million, okay, at $50. Well, 10 million, oh, come on now. I mean, we could do basic math here, but times $50 is $500 million. Now, that's a big profit for Miles Morales. Under 100, selling $500 million. Now, obviously, there's a lot of buffer and stuff in there. If it's sold, people got it on sale, it sells afterwards. I'm just doing generic math, okay? I know someone would be like, well, that's not obviously how it works, and there's... Right, I understand that. Tell yourself in the comment section. But they made really good profit. Now, Spider-Man 2 cost $315 million. That's just the regular budget. And obviously, with the marketing that we've done, if you watch my other videos, watch them here, okay? They talked about how marketing could anywhere be double the price or half the price, 25% to 50% of the actual budget. So $310 million, let's just say 125 to 150 million. So they're like 450 million. Bueller News, who I love watching, we commented on his Starfield video. He had a video about Spider-Man and said that they haven't made, and I also talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago. I said that Spider-Man has to sell 6 to 7 million copies to break even on the money amount. So now, let's go back to this article where they're talking about that they're going to sell Spider-Man in 3 different parts, Spider-Man 3 in 3 different parts for $50 a piece. This is smart because if the game costs, the initial structure of Spider-Man 3, let's say cost $300 million again, $350 million, okay? But then the second part and the third part are almost done, but they're still working on it. They get to cut the price to thirds, right? Let's say the game itself is 350, but the other ones are like 90 million. So let's say it takes 500 million, right? $500 million to make Spider-Man 3. Again, we're just speculating here and putting it into perspective, okay? Let's say it takes $500 million to make Spider-Man 3 all said and done, and now they sell it in 3 different parts, okay? And they sell the exact price that they sold, what they did with the amount of sales, 5 million. Let's just be, nice. 50 times $50 times 5 million sales, okay? Just when it comes out the first month, okay? That's $250 million off part 1, and then part 2, and then part 3. And that's successful. They make their money back, and they make more off of it because the total investment is much cheaper now because they can chop it up over years. That's the smart decision to do because there's no way if they keep increasing the price of these AAA games to 800 million, 400 million, 500 million, 600 million at the $70 price tag, there's no way they're making their money back. No way they're making their money back. So this is why they're doing what they're doing. Now, let's go back to the article. Even with the AAA games raising the price across the board and the new $70 standard, Sony is planning to release Spider-Man 3 in 3 parts. 2 parts for the main game, with the multiplayer separately for the grand total of $150. Now, while the leaks around 1.76 terabytes of confidential data, mostly related to Insomniac's own titles, it gives insight to Sony's potential plans for PlayStation moving forward. Hackers demanded ransom for $2 million, and Insomniac Games refused to pay it. So all their data has been leaked to the public. Now, the leak has also included very early media of Wolverine game, which also we know now is planned as part of the trilogy of the X-Men games, alongside plans of the new Ratchet and Clank game and the aforementioned Spider-Man 3. So, look, the leak of the Wolverine game, it's kind of a separate story, but the Wolverine game being shit on because of the way it looked, like, you do understand that it's like pre-alpha. And even if it was the full-fledged game, it looks better than 10 times the games that come out at launch. So I'm pretty sure Insomniac and Wolverine are going to be fine when they come to launch, but that's another story for another day when we get to see Wolverine down the road. As far as the $80 to $100, we already paid. Lurker in chat, if you guys are here live, you can watch and chat with me live in chat as we do these videos. If you're watching this after the fact, you can only leave a comment in the section down below. He said that aren't games already $100, you know, with skins and whatever else and pre-orders, and yeah, that's correct, but the baseline, they want more money for the game. They want to give you less game for more money. Now, a lot of people, first person in the chat today, L, said, if you don't want to pay $100, then don't buy the game, right? I don't want to misquote you. Let me see what you said. Let me scroll all the way back up. $100 games are coming. Don't like it. Don't buy it, right? Now, that's fine. This is the same thing. It's a bold move, okay? Because I remember a comic book person saying, if you don't like my book, don't buy. And then no one did, and then she complained that no one bought her book, right? The problem with $100 games is less people are going to buy a $100 game. We always talk about the 20-80 rule, okay? 20% make 80% of the profit for any company. Doesn't matter if you're getting a cup of coffee and you pay $5 for it, right? Or if you're making a video game and you pay $100 for it. Less people will buy your game at $100. And this looks great for PlayStation Plus, and it looks great for... Now, PlayStation Plus, I can't predict the future. I do pretty well, but I can't predict the future. I said that they would go day and date about 3 to 4 years from now, okay? So I think we're 1 year down, 3 years to go. They might do day and date for PC in the future. I don't know if they'll go day and date sooner rather than later for PlayStation Plus, but I think they might have to go that route, because what's going to happen is you're going to raise that price to $100. And right now you're making, again, $5 million the first month of Spider-Man. But in the future, $100, you might not make $5 million get the game for Spider-Man 3. You might only get $2 million. But they also got $100, so they're making $30 more per person, okay? Happening in the movie industry now. Everyone's like, oh, a movie's so successful, but there's less people going to the theater. But ticket prices are going up. Less people going, still make a lot of money, but they're still losing money. Now, foreshadowing, movies are costing a lot of money, more money than they used to in the past, where they had the different margins, okay, return on investment, okay? Video games are now catching up and surpassing movie, where the games take 5 to 6 years to make, and they're costing $300, $400, $500 million. Grand Theft Auto 6 supposedly costs almost $1 billion. That's the outlier. That'll make its money back. Most games that come out cannot cost that much money because they will not make that money back. In my opinion, I think the AA game, okay, that price point, okay, below $100 million, below $75 million, if games can come out, make those type of games, that is manageable for these companies, these studios, where they can make the game, it's under a certain price point, okay, still charge $70 for the game, and they'll make a profit, and they don't have to sell 7 million copies. All they got to do is sell 2 million copies or 1 million copies, and it's much more profitable for those companies. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. If you like what we do here, okay, maybe you'll check out some of these other videos in our repertoire here. I appreciate you very much for watching. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.